Okay, well, we are going to, let's see,
We'll go ahead and get started. And I'm going to do the warming sequence on a chair, but you're welcome to do it on the floor. If you've got a rolled up blanket or a blanket that you can roll up, we're going to use that toward the end. And then if you've got a yoga strap, that would be helpful. If you want to do the warming sequence on the floor, but you have some sensation in your knees, you can grab a folded blanket to put underneath your knees. All right. So we're going to start in a comfortable seated position. You can sit up on a blanket or on a chair or flat on your mat. I invite you, if you'd like, to close your eyes, and we'll begin to draw the attention to the breath, noticing each inhale and each exhale. Allowing the breath, as long as it's comfortable, to flow in and out through your nostrils. Let the crown of your head grow long and tall, reaching toward the ceiling. Allow your shoulders to relax. Release any tension in your hands, in your forehead, in your jaw or your cheeks. And see if you can make a little bit of an ocean sound on each exhale. Closing off the back of your throat to feel that exhale, moving like the sound of the ocean. And we'll see if we can keep that ocean sounding breath moving throughout our practice today. And we'll begin to warm up the spine, making circles. Inhaling as we circle forward and exhaling as we circle back. You're welcome to do this from a seated position, on the ground, or on a chair. My chair happens to be a little squeaky this morning. And then you can circle the other way. Good. And come back to stillness. If you're pregnant, go ahead and just stretch from side to side, lifting one arm and then the other. If not, we'll do a gentle twist, putting the left hand on the right knee, and then placing your right hand either on the ground behind you or on your chair. Just a gentle twist, nothing too strenuous. And switch the other side, placing your right hand on your left knee and your left hand either on your chair or on the mat behind you. Good. We'll roll the shoulders back and make big or small circles. And we'll roll the shoulders forward. And then we'll warm up the neck in any way that feels okay for your neck. You can look from right to left, up and down. You can tilt from side to side or make circles. Just move your neck in a way that feels good. It helps you release tension in your neck. Good. We're going to go ahead and move into cat and cow. If you'd like to do these on the ground, you're welcome to, but I'm going to show you how you can do it in a chair. If you're on a chair, you can put your hands on the small of your back, and if you're on the ground, put your hips over your knees and your shoulders over your wrists. And on an inhale, we'll pull the chest forward, release your chin, and on an exhale, round the shoulders forward, pull the belly button to the spine, bring your chin down. Inhaling to cow and exhaling to cat. You can move at your own pace. Just waking up, energizing our spine this morning. And then make your way back to neutral spine. Good. If you're on the ground, you can stay there. If not, if you're using a chair, you can walk to the back of your chair. We're going to do balancing table. So if you're on the ground, you're going to extend your left hand forward and your right leg back. If you're on a chair, we're going to fold forward as far as you're comfortable. And then from here, you'll extend the left arm forward and the right leg back. And on an inhale, we'll bring the elbow into your side and your knee. You can bring it towards your forehead and then extend on the exhale. So inhale, crunch forward, exhale, extend back. I'll do 2 more on this side. Then we'll switch sides. This time extend your right arm forward and your left leg back. And on inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, extend back. We'll do 2 more. Good. And we'll go ahead and go to tiger now. So again, if you're on the chair, you can lean forward. If not, just stay where you are. And we'll bend the right leg at about a 90-degree flexing the foot. And we'll bring it up on an inhale and back to neutral on an exhale. So if you're on the ground, you want to bring your thigh parallel to the ground. If you're on a chair, you want to bring your thigh kind of in line with the slant of your body, the angle of your body. Good. Switch sides. Bringing the left leg to 90-degree bend and moving with the breath. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Good. If you're using a chair, you can move it out of the way. We're going to move to the floor now. We're going to come into a downward facing dog. So if you're on your hands and knees, you can walk your hands forward, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. Let's keep our legs bent at first and gently pedal the feet. Press evenly into both hands, all 10 fingers pressing down into the mat. Trying to keep your spine long. Good. Bend both legs. Press through those hands. Bringing the hips up and back and you can work your legs toward straight and your heels toward the mat. Neither of them have to get there. Just move as far toward straight and the ground as you can. And take a couple breaths. From here, we're going to move into a plank downward dog flow. If you're pregnant on the plank, go ahead and drop your knees to the mat. If you're not pregnant, you're also welcome to drop your knees to your mat if you prefer. So on an inhale, we'll bring the shoulders forward over the hips, and exhale back to downward dog. Inhale to move forward, exhale, bringing the hips up and back. Continuing to press through all 10 of your fingers. Let's do one more. Good. Go ahead and drop the knees. Spread your knees wide. Bring your toes together. Bring your hips back and go into child's pose. You're welcome to put a blanket underneath your knees and also to put blocks underneath your forehead or your chest or pillows. You can walk your fingertips forward if that feels all right. You're also welcome to put your hands along your knees if you feel uncomfortable in your shoulders at all. From here, we're going to go into a striking cobra. If you're pregnant, I'm going to show you a different option. So I'll show you the pregnancy option first. So from here, we'll just come up onto our knees, bring our shoulders forehead, and do a half push-up, and then just come right back into child's pose. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and do the striking cobra. We'll lift the hips, keep the chest close to the ground, slide forward, press up into cobra. So for cobra, pull your shoulders back. You can keep your elbows really bent, or you can straighten them a little bit, whatever feels okay on your back. And from the cobra, we'll push back, keeping your chest as close to the ground as you can. Back to child's pose. So you could just go ahead and move through those at a speed that feels okay in your body. And even if you're not pregnant, you're welcome to do the option where you move into a half push-up. Good. Next time you're in child's pose, stay there for a couple breaths. Then press back into downward facing dog. Couple breaths here. Then you can walk your hands and your feet together, spreading your feet as wide as you need to, and begin to fold forward. You can shake your head, yes and no. You can even bend your knees so much that you rest your chest on your thighs. You're welcome to hold on to your elbows. Try to bring the weight evenly distributed between the fronts and the back of your foot. Don't let your heels be too heavy. Take one more breath. Bend your knees, put your hands on your hips, and with a flat back, come to stand. Good. All right. Go ahead and do a side stretch with your feet shoulder width apart. Interlace your hands, lift them up toward the ceiling while keeping your shoulders down. Gently stretch to the right on an inhale. Exhale to center. Inhale to the left. Exhale to center. One more stretch to each side. Good. Release your hands. And we're going to bring your feet about 2.5 feet apart. We're going to externally rotate the right foot so that your right toes face the right short side of your mat. And then we're going to turn the left foot in at about a 45-degree angle. And then we're going to turn our hips as far to the front of the mat as we can. Feel free to adjust your feet. Your heels should be on a tightrope, so your toes are a little farther apart from each other, but your heels should intersect. Pull that left hip as far forward as you can. Then we're going to go into pyramid pose. So you can keep your hands right here on your hips if you'd like, or you can hold on to your elbows behind your back. So lift your lower belly up, let your shoulders relax down. You can have a micro bend in that front right leg. And inhale, keeping your back as flat as you can. Go ahead and fold forward. This pose does require a little bit of balance. Keep your chest lifted. Keep that left hip hugging forward as much as you can, pulling the right hip back. Keep a micro bend in your right leg and keep your breath flowing. Good. And inhale to stand. And we'll turn the right toes facing forward, left foot turn out, then turn your right toes to a 45-degree angle. You can bring your right hip forward so it squares to the left side of your mat. And if you're holding on to the back of your elbows, go ahead and switch. Good. Leading with your chest lifting up on an inhale, begin to fold forward. Keep a little micro bend in that left leg. You might find as you breathe into this pose that you can go a little bit deeper. Just try not to compromise the integrity of your nice straight spine. Press down through that back heel and the front heel. Try to keep that right hip pulling forward and left hip pulling back and your chest lifted. Head to neutral spine. Take a moment here to reconnect with that ocean sounding breath. And on an inhale, come back to stand. Good. All right, we're going to move into tree pose. Bring your legs together. Bring the weight into your right foot. Turn your left foot out. You can put your foot on your calf or lift it up to your inner thigh. Just don't rest it on your knee. Start with your hands on your hips. Find a focal spot for your eyes. I'm going to give you an alternate option for your hands. If you'd like to, you can try eagle arms. So bring your right arm at a 45-degree angle in front of you. wrap the left underneath, and then have your palms face one another, pulling your elbows up so they're in line with your shoulders. But you're also welcome to keep your hands together at your chest or float them up overhead. Press down through all four corners of your foot, keeping the crown of the head pulling up. Let's do 2 more breaths. Good. Release your hands first. You can turn your left leg in and drop it down. Switch your weight to your left foot and turn your right foot out. Again, you can keep it on the ground. You can put it up on your calf, or you can pull it up to your inner thigh. Keep that left hip hugging under, not letting it open to the left at all. Start with your hands on your hips. Find your focal spot for your eyes. And if you'd like to do the eagle arms, we'll put the left arm at a 45-degree angle in front of us. Wrap the right arm underneath and bring your palms to face one another. Elbows in line with your shoulders. Or you can float your hands overhead, put your hands together at your chest, or put your hands on your hips. Try to maintain that focal spot. Press down through your foot as the crown of your head pulls up toward the ceiling. Keep the breath flowing. Let's try 2 more breaths. Good. Release your hands first. Bring your elbow or your knee in and then drop. Very good. All right, we're going to move back down to the floor now. And we're going to go into a low back bend. So if you're pregnant, please do this on your knees, baby camel. If not, we're going to drop down to the belly. And we'll spend a little bit more time in that cobra pose that we were doing earlier. So with your hands underneath your shoulders, fingers spread wide, go ahead and peel your chest off the mat, shoulders up. Press your pinky toes into the mat. You should be able to lift your hands. You shouldn't be pressing onto your hands. Good. If you like, you can float your hands behind you with your palms facing one another. Again, keep those pinky toes down, those inner thighs rolling in. This protects your lower back. Bring your hands toward one another. Chest pulling forward, shoulders pulling up and back. Even if you're in baby camel, chest pulls forward and up, shoulders rolling back. In either variation, your lower back continues to be long. These back bends, we're aiming to get into our upper back rather than our lower back. Good. Release, take a couple breaths, and we'll do that one more time. On an inhale, go ahead and come up into either low cobra or baby camel, or you can place your hands behind you with palms facing one another. Very good. Release. We'll go ahead and press back one more time into child's pose, bringing your toes together, spreading your knees, hinging back in your hips, walking your fingers forward. If that's feeling okay in your shoulders, as you walk your fingers forward, lift your forearms up off the mat. Again, you're welcome to put a blanket under your knees or a blocker pillow underneath your forehead. Reconnect with that ocean sounding breath. And go ahead and bring your right elbow to your right knee and walk your left hand over to the side of your mat, feeling a stretch through your left side. Keep both of your hips rooted to your heels. Good. Switch, bringing your left elbow to your left knee, and then after you walk your right hand back forward, bring it over towards the left side of your mat, feeling a nice stretch through your right side. Good. Use your hands to come back into sitting. And we're going to go ahead and sit now on our heels. If this is uncomfortable for you, you're welcome to sit cross-legged or to sit up on a blanket or even on a chair. We're going to go ahead and do cow face. So for this one, you can either do like we did for pyramid and just wrap your hands behind your back and hold onto your shoulders, or if you'd like, and I'll turn around and show you, you extend your arms out, lift your right arm up, left arm down, bend your elbows, and see if you can just touch your hands behind your back. If not, that's fine. Just breathe into wherever they are. Keep your elbows pulling back. Don't let them come too far forward. Keep your lower belly hugging in. Spine nice and long. And breathe. Good. And release. Go ahead and roll your shoulders out for a moment. Good. And this time we'll extend, either switch the hold of your elbow or extend your left arm up, right arm back, bend both arms and see if you can bring your fingertips close to one another. It's completely fine if they don't touch. And pull those elbows back so they're not coming too far forward. Keep your lower belly hugging in gently and pull the crown of your head up to keep that nice long spine. And breathe. If you're feeling any pain in your shoulders, go ahead and back off or try a different variation. Good. And release. Go ahead and internally and externally rotate your palms for a moment. Roll out your shoulders. Good. All right. And now we're gonna sit back on our backs, but bring your rolled up blanket and your strap near you. We're going to need those soon. Go ahead and sit back. Go ahead and cross the right leg over your left knee. You can put gentle pressure on your right leg, or if you'd like, you can interlace your hands behind your left leg, pulling it in towards your chest, keeping your feet flexed, and bringing the right knee away from you while you pull your left knee towards you. Keep your lower back released to the mat and your shoulders heavy. Continue breathing. Good. And switch legs. Cross the left leg over the right. Again, you can just stay right here. Or if you've got space and you'd like to interlace your hands behind your right knee and pull the right knee in towards your chest, you're welcome to do that. Keep your feet flexed, that protects your joints, and continue to breathe. Notice where in your body you feel this and see if you can imagine sending your breath there. Each inhale. Good. And release. We'll go ahead and move into happy baby pose. So we'll spread the knees, bring them in toward your chest. You can either put your hands behind your knees and extend your feet up, or if you can reach from the outside of your feet, you can grab your bottoms of your feet with your hands and pull your knees even closer to the mat. Try to keep your lower back flat to the ground. Good. And release. We're going to go ahead and do a modified shoulder stand now. If you are very familiar with shoulder stand and you'd like to do the full variation, you're welcome to. But if you're not familiar with it, we're going to do a modified version. So we're going to take the rolled up blanket and place it underneath your hips. Maybe even a little bit lower than your hips. You want the blanket to be underneath your pelvis rather than underneath your lower or middle back. This is just going to elevate our hips just a little bit higher than the floor. And you're also welcome to do this with your hips flat on the floor if you'd rather not elevate them. And then we're going to bend both legs, wrap the strap over your feet, and straighten your legs. And then you're going to use your hands to pull your feet straight down to the ground. Again, we're looking for a 90-degree angle here rather than lifting your feet back. So your hips are just slightly elevated off the ground and your legs are extended up. You can pull down with your hands, but do so gently. You don't want to wear them out. And if your grip gets tired, you can wrap the strap around, and that'll make it a little bit easier on your grip. If you'd like, you can close your eyes. Again, feeling each inhale and each exhale, connecting with what it feels like in your body to take those slow breaths. We'll stay here for about 5 more breaths. Good. Bend your knees. You can move your strap off to the side. Lift your hips up to move the blanket out of the way. And we're going to move into fish pose. Again, if you're familiar with fish and you want to do it without the support of a blanket, you're welcome to do that. Lifting your chest up and back and pressing your hands flat on the ground with your feet extended out in front of you. Or if you like the support of that rolled up blanket, you can move it and place it just under the bottom of your shoulder blades so that your shoulders can move towards the ground. Head flat on the ground. Hands can be extended out to the side. Again, you're welcome to do this with or without the prop. If this is uncomfortable at all on your neck, you're welcome to put a pillow or a yoga block underneath your head to lift it up off the ground. And we'll take some slow, deep breaths here. Let's do 3 more breaths. Good. And if you're using the blanket, you can move it out from under you, lay flat on your back. I'm going to hug the right knee into the chest. Take a breath here. And switch legs, hugging the left knee into the chest. Good. Bend both legs. You can extend your arms out to the side. If you're pregnant, make these motions pretty small. If not, you can make them however feels good on your lower back. I'm going to windshield the knees from side to side. Just getting a nice, gentle twist on your lower back. Again, you're welcome to just keep these pretty small. Try to keep both shoulders flat on the ground. Good. All right, if you're pregnant, go ahead and turn onto your left side. If not, let's bring the knees wide, or the feet, sorry, ankles wide, and let your knees fall together. You're welcome to place one or both hands on your stomach. You're welcome to close your eyes. We're going to stay in this resting pose for 5 minutes or so. And then after that, we're going to move up into a comfortable seated position and do some de-stressing breath work together. But for now, just notice the gentle rise and fall of your belly with each breath. Sometimes when we're anxious, our breath moves into our chest, becomes more shallow. See if you can really feel each inhale and each exhale in your belly, letting it expand on each inhale and fall with each exhale. And see if you can keep your attention on that rising and falling. If at any point you'd like to open your eyes, you're always welcome to do so. If paying attention to your breath is stressful, I invite you to open your eyes and notice specific items in your room. Just pay attention to what's going on in you and do what is best for you. And now you can let your breath resume its normal rhythm. Bring your awareness back to your body. You can gently wiggle your fingers and your toes. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Rolling slowly onto your left side, using your hands for support. Go ahead and sit back up to a comfortable sitting position. If you've got a blanket or something that's folded that you can sit up on, you're welcome to do that. If you have any sensation in your legs in this, you can prop blocks underneath your knees to support you. You want to be nice and comfortable here. We're going to lengthen your spine, pulling the crown of your head up. We're going to do some alternate nostril breathing. This is good for de-stressing, calming, and centering. So you can let your left hand relax on your left knee. You can turn your hand up or keep it down. And then using your right hand, you're going to put your pointer and middle finger on the middle, right between your eyebrows, or a little bit lower there. You can put your take your thumb and put it on the right side of your nostril, and then take your ring finger and put it on the left side. Keeping both nostrils open at first. So we will alternate closing one side to take an inhale, and on each exhale we'll switch. So you'll switch to the other side on the exhale, inhale on that same side, and then switch. I'll walk you through the first few and then you can move at your own pace. So go ahead and close the right nostril with your thumb and take an inhale. And then switch, closing off the left side of your nostril and exhaling out the right side. Keeping the left side closed, go ahead and inhale. And on an exhale, close the right side and exhale out the left. Go ahead and inhale through that same side. And exhale, switch, closing the left side. So if you'd like to, you can close your eyes and move through about 5 rounds on your own pace, switching with each exhale. If at any point you start to get lightheaded, just resume a normal breathing rhythm. Good. You can put both hands on your knees. If you'd like to keep your eyes closed for a few more breaths, you're welcome to do that. Know that today you are enough. Whatever you've done, whatever you've left undone, whatever's gone well, whatever you wish would have done better, you are enough. You're doing a good job. We find ourselves in a very difficult season, middle of a pandemic. We're all experiencing perhaps more stress than usual, and sometimes we can take that out on ourselves. So let me encourage you today to be kind to yourself. And even if you don't believe it today, perhaps if you keep being kind to yourself and you keep telling yourself, one day you will believe that it's true, that you are enough, exactly where you are. You are doing a good job. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're feeling a little less stressed than when we started. Look forward to practicing again with you in the future.